Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about pens. So I want to show you the 4 most common pens that I use in my planner, and I am betting that you use one of these pens in your planner. So I'm gonna, like I said, go through 4 of them. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of information about each one and just share what I think. So the first one that we are going to start with is a ballpoint pen. So this is the one I'm going to demonstrate for you. This is a Papermate and this is a 1.0. So here is a ballpoint pen, and just give it 1 second to focus. Okay. So a little bit about a ballpoint pen. It's usually a dye or an oil-based ink. And as the name suggests, it does have a tiny little ball at the tip of the pen, and as you write, the ball will move and the ink will come out. Usually it will have a cap like this, or a twist cap, or a click cap, and usually you can buy these in bulk. They usually come in a set, and that is how this one came. And this is a black ink. And I'm going to leave all this information in the description box of what I talk about. So here is an example of the ballpoint pen. Okay, so that is the first pen, which is the ballpoint. And the next one that I am going to talk about is a fountain pen. So this pen that I'm about to show you is really the entire reason that I had an idea for this video. And this is the pen right here. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can get a better picture of it. So this is the Zebra fountain pen. And so fountain pens have the ink inside. There we go. You can see more of the tip. Get the camera to focus. Okay, so you can probably immediately tell that the tip of this pen is a lot different than a ballpoint pen. And usually the ink is water-based, and these are usually refillable. They do usually have a very high price tag, and they usually have a metal nib, which is right here, and you can get this in different sizes. I believe that this is a medium nib. They also have fine and extra fine. So this I picked up at Michael's. And this is actually a disposable fountain pen. So if you look online, usually fountain pens are very expensive because you have the actual pen and then you have to buy the ink separately. There's a lot of maintenance that comes with fountain pens. If you are watching this video and you love fountain pens, please let us know in the comments which is your favorite. And I had been wanting to try out a fountain pen, but I did not want to spend the money to invest in a traditional fountain pen. So when I found this disposable one at Michael's, I thought, wow, well, that is perfect. So it does take some getting used to. If you can see that circle right on the top of the nib, or the top part of the metal, and then there is a line. I'm not trying to blind you, but I just want you to see it, that runs all the way to the bottom. So this has a little bit of a learning curve. When I first started writing with it, I was holding it up and down like this. So the circle was facing directly in front of me. And I'm going to show you what happens if you hold this in different directions. So the first direction I'm going to try is, we'll call that top part where the circle is the face, and it's going to be completely to my right. So if you try to write like this, you can probably hear how it's scratching the paper and there's not a lot of ink coming out. So now we're going to turn it to the top, so it was pointing to the top of the paper. And then you can see that it came out, the ink came out a little bit better. Now I'm going to tilt it slightly to the left, and I'm going to try to write again. And hopefully you can kind of pick up how when I turned it to the left, the ink just flowed out of the nib of the pen a lot easier. So that is the complicated but also kind of fun part of a fountain pen, is that you really have to work with it, just like you know, all different types of paper weight. It's the same thing. So if you're interested in trying a fountain pen but you don't want to spend the money up front, I would definitely check this one out. Like I said, I got this from Michael's and I just used my rewards. I want to say it was about $3 maybe, but I had a rewards for like $5, so I did not actually purchase this. So that was nice. So like I said, this is the zebra, and let me read the tag to see if it says. Okay, it doesn't say what nib size this is. I would just guess that it's going to be a medium or a large. So there's this one, and then because of this one, which I got in this beautiful blue, I actually picked this one up from Jet Pens, and this one is a lot smaller. Might need to zoom out just, oh, there we go. Okay, so that's the zebra. This is the one from Jet Pens. And this is actually called the Pilot Petite, or Pilot Petite 1. So this one, sorry, my chair is a little squeaky. You can see that there's a little picture on it. So when this one came in the mail, there was a little stopper that I actually had to pull out, and you can see the ink that's in there, and you can see the nib and the top, and it looks almost the same as the other one, except this one right under the Pilot, it has a little F. I would guess that that means fine, but I'm not very familiar with fountain pens, so if you guys know, please let us know. So now I'm going to show you this one, and I'm going to tilt so that circle is pointing a little bit to my left again. And you can see how easily that flowed. And then if I do the same thing, we're going to do the top. And then if I tilt it to the right, it's not flowing properly, just like the other one. So this is another one. I think, I could be mistaken, but I think this actual one on the Jet Pens website, you can buy the cartridges to replace them. I could be totally wrong, but I think that was an option with this one. This is just like a little to-go pen. So that is another type of fountain pen that you can try out. It's, like I said, it's been really fun just to play around with them and to see, you know, how they work on different types of paper. So the next pen that we're going to talk about is a gel pen, and you guys are probably really familiar with these. So this is the Papermate Ink Joy Gel 0.7. Okay, so I have a 0.7 and a little bit about gel pens. So they usually are also a water-based ink, and they usually have a metal ball at the tip, just like a ballpoint. And the difference is really the ink. It is a, as the name suggests, a gel. So it grips the ball at the end a little bit better, and it makes your writing experience more smooth than a traditional ballpoint pen that does not have gel ink in it. So this is a 0.7, and the other one that I have to show you is the Sakura, and this is the 0.5. This is another type of gel pen, and this one is a little more fine than the Papermate 0.7. And this pen I definitely really love in excuse me, my Stology planners or Stology notebooks. And the Muji 0.38 that I use in my Hobonichi is also a gel pen. Okay, so moving on from gel, the next and the last one that we are going to talk about are felt pens. And I'm sure you guys have seen this one before also. So this is the Papermate Flare, and this is the medium. And they are basically markers. Just the tip is going to be a little more fine. Okay, so this is the medium. And the ink is actually, it's usually some type of oil-based ink that is on the marker tip. And you can probably hear the sound that it's making going across the paper compared to the traditional ballpoint pen. It is going to sound and feel different because it is basically a marker, and these usually only have the cap at the end. They usually are not clicks because just like a marker, they will dry out if you do not put the cap on. Another tip for felt pens is I store mine with the top down like this. A lot of people, even teachers I work with, will store them with the tip pointing up, and what happens is that all of that ink comes down to the bottom and these will dry out much quicker. So if you have Papermate flares, just try to store them with the cap down like this, and I feel like you'll get a lot more longevity out of your flares. This is another one that I consider a felt pen. I'm not sure what they consider it as, but this is the Pigma Micron 05. And I used to use these a really long time ago for Bible study. They really bleed through the paper. So this is just another one. And this is an 05. And you can tell the tip also looks different than the traditional ballpoint pen. And then the last one I have to show you for the felt pens is also a Papermate flare, but this is the ultra fine tip. So this one I'm going to put right beside the flare, which is a medium, and this one I'm going to zoom in just so you can tell. Hopefully you can see the difference. Okay, so the flare is going to be a medium, and they are saying that this is a ultra fine. And I don't know if you saw what I did. I tried to write this letter U, and the ink wasn't coming out that well, so I had to rotate it. That is something that is worth noting for felt tip pens. Because they have a marker point, if you use one side more frequently when you're writing, you will get a slight indentation when you continue to use the pen. So for example, I have a couple of my Papermate flare pens, and because they are colors that I use frequently, the line is going to be a lot more bold than colors I use infrequently because of the pressure that we put on pens when we are writing with them. So that's just something to keep in mind. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys found this helpful. I do have an older video on my channel where I did a highlighter test on a bunch of black pens, and I will leave that in the description box if you guys are kind of not sure which pens you can highlight over. I think that you would find that helpful. If you guys have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I make planner and faith related videos. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.